Welcome back to Talkin Shop, ShopSabre. I'm Brandon, here with a gang today. I got the fisherman Nick. I've got Travis. I've got Chad. How we doing, guys?
I'll be golfer, Chad.
You want to be golfer Chad today? Golfer Chad, fisherman Nick,
Pool boy Travis.
pool boy Travis. I don't know how that happened, but I like it.
Probably because I had to take the damn thing down.
Oh,
this
did you
last
take it
weekend.
down?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
After leveling it again this summer, somehow rock weaseled through the sand, so it was about to poke a hole in it.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
We will also have to talk off air about what he said to his kid that made him cry while they were cleaning the pool. It's a not podcast appropriate comment, but it was really funny.
That's funny.
It was really funny.
Well, for episode 120, we'll get ourselves canceled, so that'll be great. I'm calling Nick Fisherman Nick because he's wearing a clearly fishing shirt from Under Armour right now. And I don't know why, but I feel like making fun of him for his shirt, so...
I'm not even really sure if it is a fishing shirt.
It's a fishing
I just
shirt.
called it that because it
Dude,
seemed
look
like
at the Under Armour logo. It's got barbs on it, dude. It's a fishing shirt.
Oh yeah, definitely a fishing shirt. I'm like, I don't know either. I don't think it's a fishing shirt. Then you point that out, yeah.
But it's
that's
a really,
fishing
it's a
shirt.
weird hoodie because it like pulls all the way back to your neck and you can't see my nice.
Yeah,
polo
it's
shirt
meant
I
for
got
when you're on a
underneath
boat.
it. Yeah.
It's for the sun. You put that up so you don't get sunburned.
Oh, thanks, Jose.
Trust me, bald guys, we know this stuff.
I'm getting there.
It's how we know not to burn our heads. We put our
Sunscreen
fishing
or
shirts
hats are a definite need.
Yeah, nice fishing shirt.
Thanks.
You go for panfish or what?
No. I go to catch a tan.
Do you catch a tan, huh? Catch a tan. I like it. Chad just got back from his live tour preparation. He was golfing for 4 days.
Yeah, I was tired.
Dude, you haven't recovered, I don't feel like.
I'm better today, but yesterday was tough.
Yeah, Chad had vacation, and then he had post-vacation because he had to recover from his vacation. So he has been falling asleep at his desk for 48 hours now,
Should have taken Monday off.
and Tuesday, maybe
Nah,
Wednesday.
Monday. Just
Maybe
Monday.
Wednesday. We're not sure about tomorrow yet. It's funny. Well, yeah, I just want to talk a little bit today about some topics, I guess, in general. We were going to kind of just throw out some ideas, but one thing that I wanted to talk about was just kind of how people evaluate CNC machines lately and evaluate products. And, my thing that comes to mind is, like, as you buy products nowadays, do you guys feel like you spend more or less time evaluating the product that you're shopping for?
That's been more.
You spend more time evaluating. Do you think it's because of the internet, maybe?
Absolutely.
'Cause
It makes
like-
it easier. You can go read reviews and dig around and look at different stuff. and-
Yep. That's why I ask, because like I started to think about that, and I'm like I was so like taken back by, like, when I was a kid, like we used to go to like Target and go to like Best Buy, and I remember going into like those stores just to like look at products and see new things, and like I can't tell you the last time I've been into a Best Buy.
It's been a while.
Like
There's not many of them even open
I was going
anymore.
to say, I think
I
they're
don't
all
even know.
closed
Yeah,
around here.
yeah, and like, but remember there used to be Circuit City.
Yeah.
Circuit City,
Radio-
Best Buy,
Radio Shack.
Radio Shack, dude.
Yep.
You could spend a whole day going around looking at cool stuff. Like, my kids will never experience that.
What's the office supply store?
Office
Office
Max,
Depot.
Office Depot,
Office Depot?
Maybe. Those are all gone though too.
Staples.
Yeah.
Staples. maybe.
Staples.
Staples.
Yeah.
Staples has Staples.
Wait, what? But you know what I'm saying though? Like, my kids will never, ever get the opportunity to experience that.
A Radio Shack?
Like,
Or
yeah.
a Blockbuster?
Dude, Radio Shack was awesome back in the day.
Isn't
Dude,
there one?
Blockbuster?
Isn't there one still in New Prague?
What's that?
Radio Shack, right
No.
on Main Street. I'm pretty sure there is.
There might be.
It had been
I
there
think
forever,
there
but I
is.
forget.
I don't know if it's still there or there was for
but
a long time.
it's like a local dude that owns it that
Yeah.
just stayed open on the
No,
phone.
he was
But it's a
actually really
different,
cool dude.
like, it's a different vibe. It's not Radio Shack. It's like, you can tell it's small town business. He fixes things, and like he does
Yeah.
things that you don't get anywhere else nowadays. But we're talking about the old school Radio Shack where like you needed like the weird thing for like electronics. You went to that place and they just had it on the shelf.
See, and I think I'm the exact opposite of Chad. I'm not sure that I do as much research.
See,
when I
I'm
buy
the same
things.
way. Yeah, I don't research as much either.
Like I just buy this. Like I'm looking at getting a new TV for our bedroom because like the internet, the wireless thing in our TV isn't working right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go buy like the same one that I have because it's been good. I have the same brand TV in my whole
Yeah.
house. I'm just gonna buy the same one, maybe a little bigger size, but
Well,
See, I
because there's
researched
something
less.
better.
That's my thing. Is I don't. You're making great points here, Chad. I just want you to know that these are great points. But for me, I just find something I like. I read the reviews on it. As long as they're not shit, I buy them.
yep.
I don't just start looking for other products. I'm like, found a good one. I like it. Reviews are good. Boom, move forward.
I always look for videos. I want to see
Videos,
video
yeah.
reviews. So like, it's something silly. This weekend, cleaning out my shed because I had to put that stupid ass pool away, and I got my snowmobile out, and my snowmobile dollies are garbage. I couldn't get them to stay under the sled. So I went and I was researching snowmobile dollies because obviously I had some that were garbage and I needed better ones. I probably researched an hour on snowmobile dollies before I finally bought them because they range anywhere from $37 to like $280 to just move around a damn snowmobile.
I you said that and it made me think. I did more research trying to buy straps for my trailer to hold down race cars than I did researching anything else for it. Like, I was getting tired of these, like exactly what you were dealing with, like the cheap stuff where like, you know how the strap gets like stuck?
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You can't get it open. Like everybody knows what I'm talking about. They get angry at the ratchet strap and everybody wants to just lose their crap. Like I was having that happen with my race trailer and I was just getting irritated with it. So I'm like, I'm going to buy some good straps. And I literally went out and researched a crap ton and ended up with some new straps on it. But it was like, I spent more time researching for that, Chad, than I would on a TV, than I would on a, new phone, whatever. Like I would just find whatever that one thing is that I'm looking for and then just buy it. Like, but something so dumb, like you said, it was a much cheaper investment. And I spent more time researching that than I did some of my more important investments.
The funny thing is, after all the research, I ended up buying the cheapest one I possibly could, only because it was $37 plus tax, and the reviews were good.
Well, that's
They
what
were
I
the
think
same
we
as all the
found
other ones.
is that the reviews on cheap products don't mean as much, I realize. Like, I don't care what they're saying as long as it's like a 5-star review. Because it's cheap enough that if it doesn't work, I'll just throw it away. But like on the expensive stuff, then the reviews mean more to me. Like I will spend a lot more time looking at reviews, especially, okay, put yourself in our shoes as a customer. If I was buying a CNC machine, I would spend more time reviewing the product that I think I found than I would, I think, looking for more products.
Yeah.
I think the thing is too, though, like sometimes you get a lot of negative reviews on something just because, maybe not a lot of negative reviews, but you'll have them mixed in with the really good ones, and you'll have 100 positive ones, but then like 3 negative ones, and people think that just because there's 3 negatives that it's not any good. Aren't the 3 like the outlier of the other 100 positive ones? Why would you focus on the 3 negatives?
I think I have a different mentality than that because I don't even, if there's 100 good ones and 3 bad, I don't even look at the bad ones.
Right.
Because I guess I just come from the mindset that like, if it was a bad product, there'd be a lot more negative reviews.
Correct.
100%.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Right. Like you can't please 100% of people. Like I know that in business. We've been doing this long enough. Like no matter what I do, there's going to be somebody out there that thinks I'm the worst person in the world. And so I don't look at those it's the majority rule is what I've always kind of looked at on that. Like if the majority of people are saying it's like out of 5 stars, it's 3, it's probably a mediocre product, right? But if the majority of people are rating it like 4 or 5 stars, and yeah, there's one guy out there that's mad, so he's got it as a 1. He didn't get his way, more than likely. Is what I've always looked at. Like that guy didn't get his way, so he just went out there and slammed the company. Oh, I'm gonna get them. Like I look at that guy as the problem. Like I'll buy the product just to prove that guy wrong. Like and then I'll go make a review on his review to let him know that like yeah, you're wrong.
See, a lot of times too, I've noticed I'll always look at the negative reviews, even if there is a few.
Oh, me
Just
too.
because, why not?
Absolutely.
But then what I'll always see, well, not always, but most of the time, is that particular company will rebuttal that and say, we actually sent you a brand new product free of charge. So the guy was complaining probably before he even gave the company a chance to fix the issue.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. Like I don't even worry about the customer, who responds to it. To me, it's just a majority rule is how I've looked at that, But I agree with Chad that there's a lot more reviewing that you can do out there. There's a lot more research that can be done on the internet. I think that's the big thing that I would say is that, as I look at customers, we have a situation that kind of come up where a customer kind of was putting, I would say, us in an unusual position because he, wants to get some demo cuts done on the machine and things like that. And there's no issue with us doing demo cuts, but it's like when you have a very specific product and you're like, hey, I'm going to fly there. I want to come in and we're just going to cut the product. Like to me, I think it puts everybody in an uncomfortable position.
Yep.
Because it's like, I feel like any professional company should want the opportunity to see what they're going to be cutting, understand the tooling they're going to need, how you're going to do it, understand and evaluate the project before you just go and like, yeah, let's just do it, right? Like, I feel like it'd be like a construction crew. Like, you're calling up a construction crew and be like, I want to build a new house. I'll be there on this day. Let's do it. Like, the crew's going to want to know, like, what the project is first. Like, they're not just going to accept the job, right? Like, you want to know what you're getting yourself into. And it's kind of the same thing that we want to do. It's like, yeah, we understand the material, but we want to see the file. Like, we want to know that, like, we can do this adequately. But, like, to say that you just want to show up, cut some parts, evaluate the parts that day, and then you'll make a decision. Like, I feel like it puts us at such a disadvantage that it's almost not worth us taking on that job.
Especially because if you have the wrong tooling, then your
Right.
cuts aren't going to turn out. So you might need time to order a new tool or recalibrate a file. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, what if you do something for somebody and you know how to do it, but then they don't exactly know how to do it the same way to get the
Yeah.
same quality and the same.
Yep.
Well, my point being is like they used in this scenario, this customer had said, well, I'll just want to show up and do it like we would any other time. We would just go into our shop, load the file, and cut the part. But like, that's assuming that everything else has already been figured out.
Right.
Like, you don't install a brand new tool and then just expect maximum performance day one, do you?
No.
I mean, it'd be perfect.
I mean, that's an
if it would
honest
work.
question. Like, I'm just asking you guys. If you install something, like, am I thinking about that wrong? But would you expect to be able to just buy something, plug it in, and then like it instantly is max performance right away on something like on a tool like this? I think it's different when you're buying a TV, right? You expect to turn the TV on, it works.
Right.
Correct.
But even that, do you have? But even then, you have to reset your right? Don't a lot of them make you set like your screen widths and stuff like that, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
for sure. I mean, I think a good example is I just upgraded to some different photo editing software
Yeah.
on my computer at home. And for me to just expect it to be installed and then work exactly how I want it to be, that's just not really realistic. You still have to set it up and put the settings in place that you want to use and
Yeah.
have it all calibrated to what you're
Fine-tune
doing.
it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out if I was being unrealistic about this, but I feel like
No.
trying to set us up for failure is not the right thing for me to do. Like, I feel like I have a requirement to look out for our employees and to ask, like, hey, Dan, this guy's going to be here at 2:00 on the 10th. He's going to bring his own material, his own stuff, and he wants you to cut this part. Like, I feel like I'm putting Dan in a really uncomfortable spot.
For sure.
Well, and Dan's not running the CNC machine full time either. Like,
Correct.
As a business, he's not a CNC operator for
Good
his
point.
business.
Yeah.
He knows a lot about CNC machines. He can design it. He can do all that, but it's not like his bread and butter. He's here talking to customers and helping people get their machine fixed.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. Is exactly that. It'd be one. I guess it would exactly. If I was like a CNC shop, that's what I do for a living. That you bring your project. Like I guess then it would make sense to expect me to be able to do that, right?
Yep.
But we don't do that. We build CNC machines. We don't build products, and therefore to bring just random material to us in a random file and say, "Let's go," you're kind of setting that person up for failure.
Correct.
Like, could we do it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Dan would pull it off, right?
For sure.
But would it be as good as we're capable of doing, do you think?
Not with someone standing over your shoulder.
I don't think so either. Exactly. I was thinking like that to me that I just know what it's like for me being under that pressure that, when somebody puts you on the spot like that, even like I have a lot of confidence in my ability in this industry, but when you get put on the spot, there's some level of nerves that come into play that just throws you off your game a little bit, right?
Yep.
100%.
So I guess that's what I wanted to chat about today. Like to me, that I just understanding that, I know obviously we're kind of like changing things up a little bit around here, but you guys, we got some new products that we just came out with or just started selling now that you want to talk about, right, Travis?
Yeah, I was going to talk about the schmalz lifts. Schmalz lifts are,
Stone cold.
Just looking at me like, what do you got to say, Brandon?
well, I wasn't sure.
I'm going to choke you.
Stone cold
This is
right at me.
a new way of doing things, so we're just throwing me on the spot now. So schmalz lifts is something that I wanted to talk about. And the reason I'm
This is
bringing
going
it up
well.
now is because, A, we just had our meeting with schmalz themselves, and I learned a lot more about the products.
It was very informational.
It was. I thought it was very beneficial because specifically for the customer that I know is really interested in buying one, he's in Canada and he wanted to know, is it UL rated? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I figured that out. The customer's happy and now he's talking about moving forward.
Is it UL rated, Travis?
It is UL rated.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yep. So with that, the next thing I needed to know obviously is I'm trying to learn which version of that schmalz lift does this customer need. So again, during that meeting with Eric over there, he gave us an entire list to show us what products weigh what in the size that they're going to be using, the thickness. So again, went back to his chart. It showed 5x10, 3/4 inch plywood chipboard was probably about 144 pounds. So now I know this guy needs the 85 lift because it's just 4 pounds over what the 65 offers. So it's very beneficial.
That's huge. Like to be able to like break it down to that, so you know what.
You might not even know that we got that. We got a sweet list of everything for every
Yeah,
material.
I was busy trying to fight COVID off. Thanks for rubbing it in.
I think the interesting thing for the little bit that I took part of that meeting, it took. Hold on.
What happened?
Rewind a second.
What'd you just do?
I sat in with those guys in that meeting for a little while, even though Chad tried to kick me out.
Good job, Chad.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was a Friday afternoon. It was like 3:00.
No, it wasn't.
It sounded.
Wait, I wasn't here Friday.
Maybe it was Wednesday.
It was
Right,
definitely.
right after you left, so I was trying to take your place and get all the information you needed to pass along.
Oh, thank you.
I got that in a letter waiting for you.
I'm glad that I got that. I've been back for
Yeah.
2 days.
But I thought it was kind of interesting that you don't have to have the thing mounted to the floor, and he said they have like wall mount units that you can use. That was pretty cool to know that you can kind of get it up on the wall out of the way, and it doesn't have to take up all that space.
I got a question for Travis real quick. What's UL stand for?
United Laboratories.
Close.
And some laboratories.
Lavatories.
Isn't that a bathroom?
Laboratories, guys. Laboratories. Underwriters. Laboratories. I had to throw it out there because you were asking, you're saying all this about UL. I'm like, I wonder if
I
he
have
knows what UL
no
stands
idea what it meant. All I know is that if it's going into Canada,
It needs
to
that
have
UL.
it. Unless you're installing it yourself at your own risk.
That's funny.
Is that the people that do it? The
That's like,
laboratories?
yeah, that's just like the rating that they came. I'm just assuming that's who probably invented it. It was something with that, but yeah, Underwriters Laboratories. I don't even know. That was a good question.
That was pretty close.
Actually, I was pretty impressed. I was like, he must have saw my phone.
No, I went through that whole deal like a year ago with that Canadian guy
Yeah.
and read through all I didn't read through all of it, but I thumbed through most of their like electrical code
Requirements,
and stuff.
Yeah, I was just curious, but like, back to the topic here. For those who don't know, like, you guys, where's the benefit? Where's the benefit for most customers when it comes to adding one of these Schmalz lifts or adding a lift like this? Where would you see somebody needing something like this?
Anybody who needs to lift heavy sheets in a small working area.
Do you feel like this works as efficiently as a loader for a machine?
It's going to be better.
Yeah, from what I saw, it's going to be better.
Yeah. Like, I'm honestly asking, like, I'm thinking from, okay, if I'm a consumer and I'm sitting here listening to this podcast right now, and I hear you guys talking about these lifts, like, why? Why would I want to lift? Like, tell me about it. Like,
There's no calibrating after it's been set up. It just works. As long as you have power to it, the suction cup will suction cup to
but
any
that's the thing
material.
okay, there you go. You're getting there. Because for those listening, they might not even know what a Schmalz lift is.
Right. Okay.
So the lift itself, to explain it for anybody who's listening, is what it allows you to do is have your stack of material near the machine, and it lifts the top sheet onto the machine and allows you to load the machine, but you can also, depending on the material, unload the machine as well. So you can take the material back off when you're done without sliding the material.
Yep.
Which I think that's the biggest thing to think about, is that a lot of these loaders, they drag the material.
Yep.
Like they literally grab the front of the sheet and just slide it. And the problem is, if there's any chip, any material, debris, whatever on the table, you run the risk, especially on pre-finished materials, of scratching it.
Correct.
And we talked to Sean Morley about that. Sean Morley does some materials that are $400 a sheet. Could you
Crazy.
imagine
Yikes.
that? $400 a sheet. And if you scratch that surface, that sheet is useless because the customer doesn't want a scratched finish. So he has to, on his product, he uses, this is how he found out about the product. He actually bought it first and then introduced us to the company. But they allow him to lift the sheet off the stack and onto the table just as efficiently as a load. Actually, he says it's faster because he's not waiting on the machine itself. But it allows you to carry the weight basically without gravity, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. You guys ran it, right? You guys ran one of those
It was effortless. I couldn't
Effortless?
believe it. Yeah. It was,
Professionally. I
Yeah.
ran one professionally.
professionally?
It's probably the best one of the sales guys.
Well, you weren't the worst.
Definitely not the worst. We know who that was.
But I mean, we watched the guy in the shop the day they were using it. And they literally moved the sheet over the table and set it down exactly where they needed to cut it. So
Yeah.
there was no movement at all.
was
It's that easy
perfect.
to use that
Yeah.
they just bring it and set it straight down.
Well, and I remember watching them at AWFS with a company with a loader and how much time they had to spend cleaning it and
Correct.
brushing off everything and
Just to load the next sheet.
just to load the next sheet. It's like
Yeah.
you needed somebody attentive at the machine to make sure the sheet was clean. Otherwise, it's not going to be grabbed.
And to be clear, the machine you were watching was not a knockoff machine. It was a very,
No, it was.
right?
Yeah, it's a very expensive machine.
I mean, very well known, very popular loader unloader machine. And It had the sweeps, right? It had all of the clean, everything that's supposed to make it so it's clean. But even their sales rep that was standing there, when we asked him, because I was standing there with you, openly said that like those things don't work as efficiently as people think they do.
Correct. And the setup and the calibration, like Travis said, needed is
Yeah.
it's a lot versus just bolting this, lift down to your shop floor and taking up a 12-inch by 12-inch square. And
Yeah.
that's it.
And that's what I love about it. Like the thing is you can use these lifts for so many different things. Like because Sean, his son is my son's age, 9, and his 9-year-old will lift sheets.
It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It's awesome.
Obviously loves doing it because I mean it's like anything. When you have a kid, they're obsessed with whatever you do. So his kid sees his dad lifting these sheets. Obviously, what does he want to do? Lift sheets, right?
I'm pretty sure we were all excited about it that day.
Golf.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Picking up the phenolic, with knowing how heavy the phenolic is, and being
Yeah.
able to just set that over there, lift it up, and
Who are you kidding? Phenolic isn't heavy for you, Chad.
well, I mean, for you little guys,
Chad is the same guy who, when we moved into this building, lifted a granite countertop by himself, straight up, just deadlifted it.
Didn't even grunt.
Nothing.
Like, didn't even make a
There
noise.
was
And I'm
no
like, I'm
effort.
not kidding. I walked
No
up to
effort.
it, and I was like, oh, I could do this, no problem. I couldn't even budge it.
Yeah, he was so effortless about it. He set it right on my finger and didn't even know he did it. Remember that?
oh yeah,
Well, the countertop that the sink is in without a sink attached to it isn't very heavy. That's what you're removing.
it was a
right?
desk.
It was a granite countertop
It
desk.
was probably this size or larger and thick.
Yeah,
It's
and
impressive.
I'll tell you right now, I almost, have you seen Toy Story, where they show the picture and then where he tries to lift it up and then his arms come out of the socket, where Mr. Potato Head's arms come out of the socket, Yeah, that was me trying to lift the granite. I tried it. My body moved. My arms never even budged. Like the granite didn't even think about moving. Chad walked up and just deadlifted it. Yeah. And I was so impressed. I put my hand down. I was like, oh my God. And then he set it back on my hand. Yeah.
Damn good thing he could lift it
It
again.
was a good thing he could lift it back up really easily. But yeah, he just crushed my hand with that. So, but yeah, so to normal guys, it's heavy material. Chad, he can lift anything anyway, so it doesn't matter. But phenolics, I mean, not a light material.
It's heavy.
It's a pretty heavy material, and it's a very dense material. And to be able to, like you said, a guy like myself, I mean, I'm not exactly the largest guy in this room, but I can effortlessly. Effortlessly. Jeez. My God, we're having a moment here.
Have another
boys.
drink.
Jeez, I need another drink. I was out on the boat with you. We were out fishing. But no, it was just so easy to be able
You're
to
not
do
going to
that
give it another shot.
effortlessly.
See, we're looking over his shoulder, pressuring him into saying it. And he can't do
He
it.
peer pressured me into it. But it's so much more convenient for your shop too, because you don't have to take up a lot of space either.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing that I took away from it. The biggest thing that I take away from those Schmalz lifts is the machine doesn't get any larger. And I think that's the biggest win there, is that think about how big that was. Remember that loader machine, Chad?
it's
How
huge.
Big, how many ShopSabres do you think you could fit in the place of where that loader unloader machine was?
3.
You think 3?
No, the loader unloader.
Yeah.
Plus the machine.
Yeah.
It would be 3.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
I was gonna bet 4. So
Really?
yeah,
They're like a line of them.
yeah, and it's all one machine. But by the time you add in everything, I'd say it's roughly, by the time you have your material, you have your loader, your machine, the unloader station, like all that, you're all of 4 machines deep. And now you think about like an average shop, where the heck do you come up with that space?
Most people are concerned with space.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, we have a lot of these machines that are in 2-car garages, right?
All the time.
Like that size shop, not necessarily the 2-car garage, but a shop of roughly that size.
Yep.
They don't even have the room for it. With a Schmalz lift, they can fit this without even expanding the building at all.
Floor mount, wall mount. They also have the shorter, what were they calling it? The crane and the jib. The jib, I think, is what they said hangs over and grabs the material. But they make a short version. So for people that have low ceiling heights, you can still use it.
Well, and you can mount it to the wall, I think.
Yep. Mount it to the wall, then you don't have to worry about it. Because I think they did say you have to have 6-inch thick concrete to lag bolt it down. So I think the majority of people all have that standard.
Most shops have that. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, that's what a normal car hoist takes as well. So it's the same sort of thing. anytime you're lifting that much weight on the ground, they want to make sure that you have a good
And
foundation.
he did say if you don't have a 6-inch slab, they have the material that they can send with the bolts that
Yep.
somehow like attaches to the sand or dirt underneath your garage.
Yep, that's what I did in my house when I built my garage. I don't have 6-inch concrete in my garage, and I wanted to put a hoist up for the race car, obviously, and that's what we did. There's a kit you buy, and I'll tell you what, I've been using it for 2 years now, and the car hasn't fallen on me yet, so we're doing something right.
You ever use it to try to lift your truck, or is it not heavy enough?
I've never tried to be honest with you. It's rated to, but I've never lifted my truck. It's a Ford. We don't have to pick them up. They stay on the ground.
You just send it to the dealer for
They,
them
they
to
get,
do it.
They get towed into dealerships.
Unlike the Dodges, where you just have to work on them every day.
I haven't had to work on mine once.
It's because you're under warranty.
Even if I have warranty, I haven't had to touch it. Tires, it needs tires.
You're under a lease.
Doesn't matter. It's all still covered under a warranty.
But
What about
you're
an
under
oil
a
leak?
lease,
You had
you're
an
not-
oil leak. I remember that.
This is because of the filter.
That was because the people didn't tighten my damn filter.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you bring a Dodge to a Mazda dealership. I
What
guess.
are you doing?
Well,
What is wrong with you?
I was up in the area, and they've
You're
always
like, hey,
treated us.
this Mazda dealership looks like a good place to get my
That's where
Dodge
we
pickup
always
truck.
get the wife's car worked on, so they knew it, and I was like, all right, let's just get it done here. And yeah, they screwed me.
They screwed me, he says.
You guys want to talk about some shipping?
Sure.
And things we deal with kind of with our customers and not necessarily not being prepared for shipping, but not following a lot of our directives that you guys give them from the time you start talking to them, the time they get their machine.
Sure.
A lot of people, I think, just, I don't know, if they don't read the information we send them, if they don't, I mean,
I'm going to be
honestly, I
honest.
think
I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I don't read emails that I get from companies just because, like, you get so overwhelmed in today's world with emails. Because, like, I bet I get 200 emails a day. How many do you guys think you get?
I delete them all right away, so I don't have a running count.
But you don't read them sometimes,
Oh,
right?
I never.
That's my point. I think we get as a society so caught up in the I'm just getting solicitations that I'm just not going to read it. And I bet that's what happens. I bet people like, I bought the product. Now I'm on this mailer list, right? They don't even read it, I bet.
but like, do you at least, when you get emails, don't you at least look at the subject line to see?
Not always.
What
If
involved?
it's something for me that I purchased, like I'll just say for the Harley pipes I bought, they said they should be to me in 1 to 5 days, right? I really wanted these pipes. So every time I got an email from them, even if it was marketing, they sent me an email and said, you want a free t-shirt? Perfect. So I filled out the form, I'll get their free t-shirt. But I actually read it because it's something that I'm waiting for and I really was looking forward to. If
That's
it
a
was
good point.
something that, if it's like, look at your house's value. Well, I'm not trying to sell my house. I don't care.
That's true. I guess I retract my statement.
That,
I'd
that
like
was,
to go
that,
with
that's
Travis's
kind of what I was
answer.
going with. I mean, if you're making the size purchase, you're buying a CNC. Let's be
Yeah.
honest, a lot of these guys are spending a ton of money on a machine, to start their business or grow their business, and it's still a huge purchase for them. I feel like I would dive into
You're
every-
literally putting Jose to sleep right now, just so you know. You're literally putting him to sleep. You're so
Sorry,
boring
pal.
right now.
Good night, Jose.
You're so boring right now. Jose said he doesn't want to be here.
Well, I mean, how do you make that more energetic? I mean, you have to follow the information that we're
No, you're
we're
agreeing.
sending you the information for a reason, right?
I think that's the problem is there's just in the world today we're so bombarded. No pun intended there. We're so bombarded with like information that like it's just we just assume some of this information is just unnecessary. And I think that's what happens is like it's the entertaining value of it, right? Like when you're excited, as you said, I'm excited because I want those pipes and they're gonna be here in 1 to 5 days. But what if that was 1 to 5 months? Would that change your mentality? Are you going to read every email now? No, because you know you have time.
I mean, I guess I would if it's relating to that purchase because I'm still
But I
waiting
don't know.
for the purchase.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't know that you would like because I think the issue that we run into is that you have, in our case, 2 to 6 weeks, right?
typically, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to get the product tomorrow. So that initial thought is, I got time.
I'll look at this later.
I'll look at it later.
And then all of a sudden, that 6
And
weeks
that
is over. You haven't gone
exactly,
back to
and
it,
you've
then
never
you're
looked
like,
at it again. Like it's not that they intentionally aren't looking at it. I think it's that people just push it off. Right? I got time.
I would do that. I'd wait for the last minute.
Me
and
too.
And then rush through it all.
I just think of what I do daily here. Like I don't have the time taking care of what I do every day to deal with my personal life stuff during work. So when it comes through, I'll get to that, I promise. And then I just forget. It's not that I intentionally blew it off. It's I forgot because 10 things happened at work that day, and then I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know. What was I working on again? Like, I don't even know.
And if you make lists of how important things are, something that is happening 10 days from now is far less important than something that's happening tomorrow.
Agreed.
So that's fair.
I still feel like, though, if I was making an investment, even if it was going to be a couple months, I would still be checking all the emails. I would be the customer.
That's your feeling.
Calling Nick all the time, being like, where's my machine? Because I'm so attentive to wanting to know where it's at.
You know what really bothers me about this whole thing? Is that I 100% agree with Travis for the first time maybe in my life.
You're welcome.
I have no words for you on that one. You agreed with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if
Chad, I found it.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
There it is. I knew when you said it, I'm like, I have a button for that. I just couldn't find it.
All right, I already know what movie I'm watching tonight now.
Took me that long. Sorry.
what movie was that from?
Big Lebowski.
Oh, I should have known that. I've seen that movie.
It's the dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I thought you were testing them.
No,
So did I. To be honest with you.
I thought you were testing them.
Yeah. But no, I think that that is the difference though. Right there is two people, right? Travis says he'd read the email, and I think that's where we do get a lot of people that read it and they're good and things go well. But then there's a lot of guys like Chad and I, where it's not that we're meaning to push it off. It's just there's so much going on that we just don't get through it. And then I'll be honest, sometimes it bites me in the ass at the end because I'm like, what? How did I not know this was happening? And you're like, well, I sent you an email about it. Well, you're right, but I didn't read it.
And then Chad's gonna call me up and be mad because he only has a 4-foot forklift. When I told him he needed an 8-foot, and Travis told him a month and a half ago he needed an 8-foot forklift, but he still doesn't have one.
To even go one step
that'll
further,
happen.
for my dollies, let's go back to my dollies. I was so excited for these dollies, which should get delivered today. I actually, every time I have a package coming, whether it's UPS, FedEx, or USPS, I get on their email list. So it tells me when it's dropped from what gate to what state, whenever it's transferred one truck to another, I get a notification. I love that.
That's why
I would rather
hate
have
that.
more information than less.
I don't want to know. I could care less.
I want the surprise.
Yeah. Just tell me when it's out for delivery and going to be.
I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to take my old dollies, throw them things in the trash, and put my new dollies under that sled so I can move the damn thing around.
Jose's awake again.
See, he heard the shipping topic was done, so he's like, I can wake up again.
I think the difference with me though is I know I procrastinate, and if I cause something to happen, I'm never gonna
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I'm the same way.
go off on somebody
You
else.
have
about
the
it.
self-awareness.
I'm gonna call and be like, "Hey, I really effed this up. Like, how can you help me? Like,
I'm that
am
guy too.
I am sorry, but this is where I'm at,
Yep.
and this is why we're here.
Yeah.
Like,
We're in this
what can we
situation.
do?
Yeah, we're in this situation because of my actions. I'm sorry. Help me fix it.
But we're in this together
Yeah.
now. So like,
Exactly. I think I'm the same way as you, Chad, on that. Like, I think that's why you and I get along so well. It's because we're kind of the same way. Like, there's plenty of things that I've screwed up, but I'm gonna own it every time. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that was on me. So how do we move forward?
there's just no point in getting like angry and upset. And
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Is that I think just the world in general is so like high speed nowadays that it's a difference of handling stress for some. Like I just think like I'm gonna go back to it, Chad. I think you and I are built the same way because of the car industry.
probably.
We grew up like this high pace, intensity industry where like getting as many cars through the service drive as you can was your goal.
Or people flying in, having an issue, thinking it's like
Life or
the
death.
worst
yeah.
thing in the world, and
Yep.
they're all like excited about it, or not. Excited is probably not the right word, but all.
But you're motivated by
Yeah.
it. Yeah, like I remember that feeling. Like when people come flying in, it's the worst day of their life in their opinion because their car's not working right, something like that. And you're like excited about the opportunity to make it right for them.
Yep.
That's the excitement you're talking about. It's not that you're excited they're having a problem. You're excited that I can now make this better for you.
Exactly.
And like that's what you and I thrived on was that like go, like do it now. There's no time. And therefore, like I think that's why you and I really love December.
Yep.
Because it's that same mentality where people are like, they're panicking. They got the end of the year. We got to get stuff done. We don't have much time left. And you and I thrive under that pressure.
Correct.
Where I think there is a whole lot of people that prefer to have it like well thought out, got time to figure it out. Like you and I think we do better under pressure.
I get more done.
Oh, me too, for sure. I get way more done when I have less time.
Meanwhile, Nick's over here just read your emails.
That's all you got to do. It's all right there in front of your face.
But yeah, I think that's the world that we live in. Is that's good. But we live in that world where I think just time's getting away from everybody. So I think as you're listening to this and you're thinking about your customers, think about that as you communicate with your customers. Like their time is the only thing that's important to them. And I think that's what we all have to remember is that our customers, without your customers, you have nothing. You need your customer. And I think the biggest thing is it's our job to relay as much information as we can to you. And I feel like we do a pretty good job of that, but not every business does that. There's a lot of businesses that don't give you a lot of information. But that also means that as a consumer, we need to be aware of that. Like we have to be self-aware enough to notice when a company's different than others, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes there's going to be things that are going to require your attention, and I'm guilty of it too. There's things that probably require my attention when I buy things or do certain things outside of, here that don't get as much of my attention because of my day-to-day job. Like I know that for a fact.
Like the shipping emails you get for your products you ordered.
That's one of I delete them every time.
The one thing that I could say personally, though, because I buy so much online, that I absolutely love about our company is our processes in place. Even though I don't do anything that Nick does in his job, if a customer has to know now and they call me or email me on a weekend, I can always look through the notes in our system because our systems are so good here that I can give that customer that update. When obviously you're not expected to have to answer that on a weekend. I just do it just because that's just kind of what I am in a sales position. But I can help that customer because, like for me, for instance, they told me there was a delay in my pipes. Going back to that again, I couldn't get a hold of a single person, and you just get an automated email that says we'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Well, then that 24 to 48 hours gone by, and I still didn't get an answer. There's no phone number. You can't call this company.
He's still sitting on the couch waiting for that text message saying the next place that his package stopped at.
He's hoping they're listening right
Good
now.
news. Pipes are on the bike. They're great. I'm happy. But I'm just saying, like with us.
I know I heard him as he left the parking lot at 94 yesterday.
It just sounds like that. But yes, I do really enjoy making them loud.
No, it's true. It's a good subject to think about, though, from shipping standpoint, is that, like, you got to be prepared still. I mean, there's certain things that you got to be prepared for and you got to know. And when you don't prepare, you kind of have to point the finger at yourself, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
We try to be upfront. I mean, I can't claim every company's that way, but at ShopSabre, we provide a lot of information. Yeah, I'm struggling today, guys. We provide a lot of information up front.
We contact our customers at least once a week.
Yeah.
With an update
Well, that's
on
my
where the
rule.
machines are at.
I hope so, because that's my rule. Like, I've always said that, like, I hate personally when I buy a product and then I don't get any
Nothing.
Any information at all, especially if it's a long process. It's one thing if it's like, okay, the product's gonna be here in 2 days. I don't need a lot of, information. But if I know the product has a lead time, 2 months, 3 months, I want some sort of a confirmation that you have my money and that I'm expecting something from you.
And it's not always, every week there's not a lot of things that change for some of these guys that are waiting 8, 10, 12
But it's
weeks.
nice to know I exist.
But at least they know that, they're getting some sort of communication.
Right.
So it's not like, hey, sweet,
Yep.
you got my money and now I'm just going to be another person
Yeah.
and another number with your company that doesn't hear anything.
Well, that's what happened to me. Is I got a new fire suit for racing. I won a contest and they sent me a new fire suit. Well, they're supposed to, and they custom designed the suit and everything. And the lead time was like 2.5 months or something. After the initial design of it, I heard nothing. And then I just randomly the other day got an email from him, or a Facebook message actually, and he's like, "Hey, your fire suit's done." And I'm like, "Oh yeah!" Like I totally spaced on that I even had it coming at this point because I'm like, I haven't gotten any notification of anything going on.
Yep.
And then he's like, "I need your address," and I'm like, "Well, that's kind of a
Wasn't
random."
it better that way?
See, yes and no. Like it was only because like I didn't need it. It wasn't a product I depend on.
And you probably.
But if I depended on it, let's say I needed that, right? It would have been kind of inconvenient that I had heard nothing,
Or if you would have had to pay for it. If you would have paid several $100s for something to be made, and it would have just been.
I don't know that would have bugged me because again,
It would have.
if I don't need it, it's not a need. It's just a nice to have.
But wouldn't and not?
But if my business depended on it, yeah, it'd
But not
mean
this,
a lot more to me.
not your specific company you're talking about. Wouldn't you start to wonder if it was something you spent that kind of money on and then heard nothing? Would you wondered if you ever going to get it actually?
Probably. Yeah, you're right. If I spent a bunch of money on it, I would just start to wonder if I got scammed.
Yeah.
More than anything because the internets are full of scams.
For sure.
Speaking of scams, did you guys catch that MGM thing?
Yep.
I think it's pretty crazy.
I heard about it yesterday.
It's pretty crazy.
I heard about it from you guys too.
I mean, it's pretty nuts when you think about that. Like, that's what makes me question so much though about the internet right there.
Yep.
Because like the fact that one person in a 10-minute phone call shut down a $1 billion operation.
It's one of the craziest things I ever heard, to be honest.
Right?
With you.
Like,
and
I can't-
and I had to hear about it from you guys. Like it was nowhere to be found.
Jose said something yesterday that has stuck with me since he said it. He's like, I can't wait till the movie comes out. Like, I can't either because it's gonna be awesome. Like, I want to watch that movie because it's gonna be like the real story about it. You know, I want to know more about it behind the scenes. Like, but that's the stuff that makes you question. Like when you spend a bunch of money on the internet and then you don't hear something, did I just get scammed?
Yep.
Because I think there is a bunch of that going on out there that unfortunately exists. You know, people who make money off of other people's misfortune.
I had my coffee table when I ordered my coffee table.
Yeah.
I ordered it from some like weird website because it was awesome. Like I just liked the look of it. Like it had reviews and pictures and everything, but it said like I want to say it was like a 2 to 3 week lead time, and like 4 weeks came and went, and I didn't hear anything. Then I emailed them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, in the next week you'll get a shipping." Like 2 weeks later, still had nothing. Like, oh man, it was $400 or whatever it was, and
Yep.
all of a sudden got a shipping, and
It just showed up.
yeah, it started showing up.
But it made you question it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, I thought I was gonna get scammed that time.
So it was the right thing though.
Oh yeah,
After all that time. That's
yeah. I
crazy.
just think they had to get it from like
You got it from
the country of origin. Like, it came right from Vietnam.
See, but that's for me. Like, I'll only shop on Amazon, eBay, or for my motorcycle, it'll be JMP Cycles. Those are the only websites that I trust.
There's
and I
as many
know-
scammers on eBay as any other place though.
See,
be
but
honest.
eBay has their guaranteed money back. I've had it happen where I got scammed on eBay and they gave me my money back. They just
I've
Reverse the money
I've had
transfer.
plenty of times that I've bought things on eBay and not gotten money. They always side with the seller for certain things.
really.
Yeah.
I've
I buy a lot of baseball cards on eBay, and I've gotten scammed a few times. And they're like, "Oh, well, their shipping shows that it was delivered." Even though
How
it
many
wasn't.
things have you bought versus how many times you've been scammed?
Oh, it's like a 1%,
Yeah.
less than 1%, but still.
I almost got scammed one time buying one of those like small pit bikes. I was like, I don't know. I was playing on the internet, and I ended up on this website that showed like these super awesome pit bikes. And I was like, oh man, I need to get me one of these. These things are sweet. Like for no reason, I needed nothing to do with it, and I was like ready to put my credit card information in, and for some reason, I was like, oh, I'll wait till tomorrow, and I didn't do it.
And then forgot about it.
No. Then the next day I tried to go find it. I couldn't remember the website. So I was like trying to find it. I ended up finding what I thought was the website. And I messaged the guy and I'm like, this. And he's like, because then I'm like, is this how much it is? He's like, nope. He's like, that's way cheaper than it's supposed to be. And I'm like, it was just that much yesterday. And then he sent me the link. He's like, no, you were on this website. Do not buy from that. He's like, they ripped us off and they just take people's money. And I clicked on the link. It was the site that I was on the day before. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, they've knocked off our product. That's why it looks the same. He's like, but there's no product there. He's like, you can give them money and then they won't. He goes, go look it up on the internet. So then I started searching and yeah, sure enough, there's like all these like complaints about that website. I'm like, holy crap, that was close. Like for some reason, something the day before stopped me from putting my information in there.
Wow.
I got completely lucky. Completely lucky.
Most of that stuff, though, you can use logic and
Correct.
like rule out.
Correct. Dude, it was.
You get the pop up and like get this for $4.99. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
The problem is if it wasn't working, they wouldn't keep doing it. So it must be working.
Well, it gets you. Like
Well,
I said,
Facebook is where I've been burned a few times. Muck Boots. It's an expensive brand, right?
What did you just say?
Muck Boots.
Can we say that on the air?
And so I tried. Well, I thought I ordered them, and they sent me some masks.
Masks.
Yeah, those little.
Oh, I remember that.
Throwaway masks. And I'm like, well, these are a $90 pair of boots. I'm getting them for $25. No brainer, right? It's like straight.
good
They
to be
ripped
true,
off their
Travis.
website. And then 2 weeks later, I get
It's like people who get CNC machines for $20,000 less than this, but it's the same machine.
It's not very logical.
Not logical. Doesn't work.
I don't buy anything.
real
off
world doesn't
ads
work that
anymore
way.
on Facebook. They're all joke.
Good times.
I was
Good
in an
times.
ad for Mickey Mantle signed baseball for $4.99. Like, oh man, I should get that. Put in all my card information and
For $4.99. Seems like a good way to lose your identity.
get some Apple Play cards
Apple Play cards.
or Google Play.
Isn't that so? Somebody here did that, didn't it? Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
Gave all their information.
Why do you
Some-
think we continuously get those Apple emails all the time?
My God, that's right.
Nice callback, guys.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, no, we, but I think that's, those are all good topics. I mean, when you think about just kind of the world we're in right now, like doing your research is important. I think it kind of all ties together, right? We talked about the way you do research and the internet and understanding what you're getting yourself into, but being willing to kind of keep an eye on your email. I mean, I think I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I don't always stay with some of the stuff that I order, like you said, the follow through. So, Nick, that's a good point. Obviously we do send out a lot of good information. So if you are a customer of ours, be sure to check your emails, read about everything you can. And, obviously make sure that you're prepared for when the machine shows up. And then obviously if you need help loading and unloading your stuff, obviously we got the Schmalz lifts.
Do your research. Buy American.
I like it.
Support the same economy you depend on.
I love that. That's my favorite statement. Support the same economy you depend on, because
You
if
are
you
a
are
true professional.
true professional.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to, but it's a true statement. Like taking a step back here for what he just said. Like if you're not willing to put your money into the same place that you depend on your money coming from, you're not helping yourself.
Correct.
You have no right to complain when things go wrong, right? Like I want people to hear that. Like if you're not supporting the economy that you operate in, you have no right to complain when things are going wrong, because you are part of the issue.
100%.
Kind of topic you want today, Chad?
That
was it.
That's what I want to say. Buy American. Support the same economy you depend on.
I like it. But it's true. That's a good statement. And maybe next week I'd love to talk a little bit more about that. I think that's a good topic for us to piggyback off of next week, and we'll jump into that a little bit.
Maybe if Travis doesn't flap his cheeks for so long.
He talked a long time today. Couldn't believe it. How many times did I talk about his pipes on his motorcycle?
It's twice.
And his snowmobile
Dollies.
wheel dolly thing.
Probably twice.
ShopSabre.com.
You just go there and look up all that stuff.
You can get a hold of us there.
Yeah, I was say we have the end of the year. Dude, I can't believe it. It's already yesterday was September 1st. Today's September 18th. Tomorrow's December 24th.
97 days till Christmas.
Is that what it is? Is that a real number?
I think he's right.
Real number. 101 or 100.
Jeez.
Here we go.
104 till next year.
And you made fun of him for not being able to say that word? You can't do 97.
Effortlessly. I did it again.
I'm slightly dyslexic. I lost one number. It's either 101 or 104 days until next year, and 97 till Christmas.
Yeah, 97 till Christmas, and then 104 till New Year's. Sounds about right.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that, guys.
7.
You know,
It's a
all
week-
I
it's
hear
a
with
week
what you're
after.
saying, all I hear is snow.
Oh,
Cold.
I'm so excited.
That's all I hear with what you're saying. It's going to be
Okay.
cold in 97 days.
I just cleaned my snowmobile
Oh,
2 days
it'll be
ago.
colder before.
I understand
less
that.
than Geez, we'll probably have snow in a month and a half.
Stop.
Yeah.
At least a
Stop
little
it.
bit.
I hope we get the snow.
We're not going to have snow before October.
Your snowmobile's not going to work anyway, so what do you want snow
This
for?
snowmobile runs every time I start it.
To say it's going to be just as bad as last year.
Worse.
Who's they?
They're saying worse.
Who are they?
Lay
Farmers
people like
Almanac.
you people.
Is it you there?
I've
Belinda
never
Peters.
said that.
Belinda Peters? Is that you?
Negative. It's going to be warm and less snow.
Do you think so?
Doesn't warm bring more snow?
Less.
Less.
Is that El
It
Nino?
might bring more snow, but it doesn't stick around.
What's
Wait,
El-
what?
It may bring
Oh,
more
true.
snow with
Because it's not
temperature,
as
but it doesn't.
not as cold, so it can actually snow.
And like when the sun's out and it's 28 degrees, it still melts. El Nino? Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm ready for 2-3 foot of snow. 25, 28 degrees. A lot of snowmobile trails.
You're fired.
I'm going for about.
You're
I
fired.
want to put on 1,000 miles on that sled this year. That's what I would like to do.
Hey, are you and that guy gonna go hang out again? The guy you bought the
Oh,
snowmobile
hell
from?
yeah.
Yeah, I knew.
I'm actually convincing my best friend
New
now to
dad?
go buy one.
New dad. He's got a new
Do
dad.
you?
I literally haven't talked to him since snowmobiling last year.
What?
I bet I'll text him and then he's gonna be like, "Yeah, let's just go," and we'll go for another couple 100-mile ride.
He's gonna write back, "Who dis? New phone."
No, what I'll do is I'll start off as like, "Hey, this is the guy that bought that nitro from you." He's
You
not
were
gonna
that
ever
kid half
answer.
my age that couldn't go as fast as me.
Do you take your snowmobile to John Deere to get the oil changed?
John Deere.
Well, you took your Dodge to Mazda. We weren't sure.
I changed my own oil in the snowmobile.
Just checking, man.
We're just checking. We're asking questions. We're just fact checking stuff.
The truck, you have to have it documented, otherwise it won't cover warranty.
You know what? I think we gotta get back to work. With that, I'm Brandon.
Chad.
I'm Travis.
I'm Nick.
That's Jose.
Jose is back there.
Thanks for talking shop for ShopSabre.